Hello, thank you for checking in with another complex combo with your girl. Pardon the driving. I had to find a moment where I can record this video, and fortunately for you, it is on my drive home from work. So a lot of you, if you've watched my videos, you know I released back in February a book called After the Innocence Is Gone. Book is doing really well, and I am getting ready to publish my next book titled A Silent Wife. This book is a story about my journey through 3 failed marriages and why marriage just doesn't work for me. And that is what's leading to today's video. I talk a lot to my coworkers and my best friends, sometimes my mom, about the things that I've been thinking about while going through this divorce. And I thought I'd put a couple of videos out because I'm sure I'm not the only one going through this or experiencing these things. So for me, my husband and I would have been married, well, we were married 2 years ago yesterday. And yes, the marriage is over. Now, I won't necessarily go into details as to why, but let's just say that we don't agree that this marriage is over. But I've learned from marriage 1 and 2, you cannot stay in a bad situation too long. It is not healthy for you. It's not healthy for the other individual. And at some point, it becomes unhealthy for those around you. So I'm not trying to spread toxicity at the workplace. And I don't want people to look at me and see a toxic person. So I'm okay with it being over. And eventually, he will be too. So having said all of that, there are just some days where I don't want to see him. We still live in the same house. We agreed on a date of exit. That date is fast approaching. So as these last 2 weeks dwindle down, just wanted to share a couple of my thoughts, and perhaps those of you who are watching the video have thoughts as well if you're experiencing the same thing. Even if it's not a marriage, maybe it's a breakup of a long-term relationship, heck, even a short-term relationship. But when I come home every day, there are days that I just don't want to see him, and I make it a point to not come home right away. Not that I'm staying out all night partying, but, you know, I find other things to do to occupy my time until it's time for me to go home. Sorry, having a battle of the merging wars here. But there are just days I just don't want to see that individual. I don't hate him. I don't despise him, but it's like, ugh, you know, it's over. I'm from the school of thought that if it's over, it's over. People are over with each other, and let's go our separate ways. We don't even have to be friends. We don't have to be mean to one another. We don't have to hate one another, but it's done. You don't want to be in that person's presence anymore. And I get that some people have the financial means to, you know, call it quits, pack up and move out. I don't have it like that. So we are sharing a residence again for the next 2 weeks. This has been over 80 plus days in the works, and fast coming to a close. But have any of you been in a long-term relationship or a relationship where you resided with the other person, and no matter who decided, you know, that the relationship wasn't working out, when you call it quits, how do you move on? How do you live in the same house with that person? That is my question every day. It's really hard to kind of curtail that attitude. There are days where I can, you know, just be cool, like nothing is going wrong. Not that anything is going to change, but I can be positive and I can have a regular conversation. But then, you know, you fall into that groove where, whereas for me anyway, if I act like everything is cool and it gives the other person the impression that our relationship can be repaired. We have gone through over the last 60 plus days, moments where he said, you know, if I go and I get help, can we, work on our relationship? No, it's over. How many of you have said it's over and you didn't mean that it was over? What's the point of saying it's over if it's not over? It's over. It is over. Let's move on. Let's wash our hands of one another. So those are some of the things that I deal with every day coming home. How do you deal with that? Even if you don't live with the person, maybe you run in the same social circle. How do you see that person on a regular basis when you've ended your relationship? I really believe that when you call it quits, there should be a moment in time where you are not in each other's space. You need time to breathe. You need time to gather your own thoughts and learn how to exist without that person constantly in your presence. And I realize that it's kind of hard for a married couple, but I would imagine that it's easier for a couple that's just dating casually, or anyway, a couple that's not living under the same roof. I think that is what makes it really hard, living under the same roof. But when you say you're done, are you done? Or do you say you're done because it's out of anger, and then you can ebb and flow through, maybe I forgive him or her, maybe it'll work, just to fall back into the same crap. This is marriage number 3. So I think I learned a little bit about calling it quits. Not saying that I'm a quitter, because I haven't been married 3 times in 3 years. There have been a substantial number of years for each relationship, but this unfortunately is the shortest lived relationship that I have ever had, including marriage. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Let me know what you think. Are you in a relationship that you need to cut loose? Have you ended a relationship, and are you still circulating around that person? Are you living in the same house as that person? How do you make it every day when you get home and walk through that door, knowing that the person on the other side you don't want to be with anymore? Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel below if you haven't done so already. Leave your comments. Let's dialogue. The whole point of this is having a conversation. I want to know your thoughts. You don't have to agree with me. As a matter of fact, I like it when you don't. But let's not be rude. Okay? Until next time, thanks for checking me out.